Hey everybody, this is Modern Refugee. We are driving somewhere not too far from the Michigan-Wisconsin border. Sometimes in life we have to travel when we don't want to. And this is one of those times. The world's kind of sketchy right now with everything that's going on. And if we had our choice, we wouldn't be traveling right now. But circumstances and life causes us to have to do things sometimes what would be go against the prepper wisdom of just bugging in and seeing how things transpire. Sometimes we got to do things that I don't really want to say dangerous, but are a little bit more out on the edge than what we would normally do, and that's one of the situations we're in right now. Sometimes you might have to go help a family member. Sometimes you might have something medical that has to get looked after and it requires travel, and you might not get to pick the time when you have to go ahead and travel. So I thought, well, we're doing this multi-day trip here, and the way things are in the world, I thought I'd share a little bit of my mindset on travel with you guys, show you a little bit of the gear that we decided to take along on this trip, and just discuss how we travel in general. I've had a lot of input from my wife on this trip, things that she wanted me to bring along that made her feel comfortable, as well as stuff that I would normally take on longer trips anyway. But when we get settled in where we're going to stay for the evening, I'm going to pull some of my gear in here out of the vehicle and discuss some of the stuff with you guys. All right, guys, sort of the first thing here, while we stop to get some gas, and I'm kind of waiting for Mother Refugee, is keep your gas tank full. We always keep our gas tank full whenever we're traveling as much as possible, especially if we're going into a pretty good sized town, or if we're going back in the bush. You always want to keep that gas tank full. You never know when a couple extra gallons of gas is going to help you out and get you out of Dodge if something goes wrong. So we've been stopping about every 100 miles and filling up the gas tank, just keep everything topped off. Another thing is we got a rented vehicle here. If we go on longer trips, we rent a vehicle just in case something happens. You don't have to beat your equipment to get home. You can beat somebody else's equipment to get home, and just save the wear and tear on your vehicle. So, if you're financially able to rent a vehicle, and you're going out of your own state, I think it's best to just rent a vehicle. And another thing is I'm a big proponent of going local. So I try to blend in with the locals. Hence the Green Bay hat here. We're in northern Wisconsin, and it's a big Green Bay Packer area here, so I'm going to blend in with the locals by wearing the local sports team. Would be no different if I'd be back in Michigan. If I'd be in Ann Arbor, I'd be wearing U of M. If I'd be in Lansing, I'd be wearing Michigan State. If we'd be down in Detroit, I'd be wearing one of the Detroit sports teams, maybe the Red Wings, something like that. Just to stay kind of low-key. At a quick glance, you just look like somebody that's local, and that's one of the big points that I want to make. Another thing is, as far as dressing, I try to dress as ordinary as possible. I don't wear anything that has like any local businesses on it where I'm from. Leave the gun t-shirts at home. You don't want to advertise anything like that when you're just out and about. Just keep stuff as simple and as plain as possible. At least that's kind of my take on the situation. We're going to get back on the road here and keep heading out, and when I get a chance, we kind of hunker down for the night, I'll have another discussion with you guys. There's one more thing that I want to add to you guys real quick about the hats. When I was younger, I worked with a security guy. I'll call him Mac. Anyway, Mac was one of the best people that I ever seen that caught shoplifters. And one of the things that he did is he always carried a spare shirt and a couple of hats with him. And if he thought that he got marked as store security, he would go change a hat, throw on a pair of sunglasses, maybe throw a shirt over the shirt that he was wearing, change t-shirt real quick, and he'd be right back at it. And he caught more shoplifters than just anybody I ever seen. And a lot of the stuff that I know about watching people and sort of kind of get the vibe on things when you're out in public, I learned from good old Mac. But anyway, I just wanted to throw that in there because I said about always changing hats depending on where you're at. I thought that was relevant to that story. But anyway, guys, I'll be coming back to you here in a little bit. All right, guys. We had a chance to unwind a little bit here. I got a belly full of pasta. So I kind of want to go over some of the stuff that I brought in here. Kind of got stuff divided up. We have some cold weather stuff out in the vehicle, a little bit more than we would normally have, just because me and my wife kind of discussed it, and there was some extra stuff that we wanted to bring on this trip this time, just because of kind of where we're going. And it's a real balance between urban areas that we're going through and kind of raw wilderness. We traveled pretty extensively across Michigan's Upper Peninsula today, and if you've ever been up there, that's raw wilderness. So I've got a kind of combination of things here. And the first thing that I want to show you is maps. I take maps with me, and I have maps of all the surrounding states where we live and any possible place where we would have to go. I have these Delorme maps. They're my favorite maps because they're so detailed. And I always go over my routes as far as maps go, and I'll show you why I mean, or why I say that. You know, when you're looking at on GPS, you're not going to know certain things like whether or not you have a cell phone signal. But if you look at the map like this, you can see, you know, the roads here. If you happen to be following like this route right here, there's no towns, there's no nothing. It's all green, which means it's all wooded. There's probably not going to be any cell phone signal there. So then you have both a map that's backup, but then you also know, hey, if I'm traveling through this area, I have to plan on not having any cell phone service. And the only way you're going to know that is to look at a map ahead of time before you even leave. So maps like this generally go with me whenever we go on any type of extended trip. Second is, because we are going through such dense urban areas on this particular trip, we are taking some soft armor with us. This is concealable armor that can go underneath our clothing to keep anything low key. And I have this in just a basic garment bag, so it doesn't draw any attention when we bring it in with us. Plus, it's easy enough to slide behind the seat of a vehicle. If something looks like it's going sideways or whatever, it's easy enough to unzip it, grab it, put it on, throw a sweatshirt or something over top of it, and you have that extra protection of this ballistic armor with us here. Outdoor gear, because we did go through a pretty long wilderness area. I have brought basically one of my kits that I got here, and this is basically the same kit that I used when we went for our kind of day hike with Uncle Bumble, and with a couple of additions to this. I kind of doubled certain things up on the basic survival gear, like threw an extra knife in, threw an extra saw in, threw an extra couple of headlamps in. And also, one thing about headlamps, if you're staying at a hotel, you don't know your way around, you should always have some type of light with you in a hotel, whether it's a headlamp or a good flashlight in case there is a power outage, so you can find your way out of these places, because it's going to be some place that you're unfamiliar with. Another thing that I brought with me on this particular trip is a solar panel here. This is one of my solar panels where I can charge battery packs or things like these headlights. I don't have to necessarily have electricity to do that, and that's kind of the main reason. Another thing that we have out in the vehicle that I didn't bring in tonight is kind of snacks. I got a snack bag out there that's basically got a few MREs in it, and it's got some like Lara bars, it's got drink mixes, it's got candy, and it's got nuts, it's got high energy food in it. That way, if something would happen, we still have something to eat, even if there's no restaurants, no place to stop. I will typically bring at least one MRE per person per day, what I figure what the trip is going to be, and that's what I keep that in a separate pack out in the vehicle. Another thing I carry with me is I carry a certain amount of tech stuff with me when we travel, and the main thing is battery packs. I have 3 of these large battery packs here. These are a multiple charge pack for both my phones and other equipment that I might have with me, and a Baofeng radio. Now, I'm not a huge, I guess, ham radio guy, because I have listened to these radios quite a bit, haven't really gotten a lot of benefit out of listening to these. I don't have a ham license or anything like that. I pretty much just monitor, but there is one thing that I really like these for, and that is...
Chance from mostly cloudy to cloudy. It was 10 at Appleton, 11 at Green Bay, 11 at Oshkosh, 10 at Clintonville, and 5 at Wausau.
They are a great weather radio. And I like carrying one of these specifically for the weather radio aspect. I actually have screenshots that I saved in my phone with all the states surrounding me here where we're at for the weather channels. And if you want to too, you can also write weather channel frequencies in your maps, and then that way you have them. A couple other things, medication and cash. Medication, if you think you're going to be gone for a week on a trip, take 2 weeks worth of medication. I always take double what you think you're going to need for that particular trip. That way, if you're delayed, anything comes up, you have extra right there, and you don't have to scurry around looking for a prescription or something like that. And another thing is cash. If you're traveling and you think you're going to need $1,000, let's say, for your trip, and I think you should carry at least 1/3 of that should be carried in cash. You shouldn't just rely completely on a debit card, and you should divide that cash up among the people that you're traveling with, and keep a little cash in unconventional places. And I'll give you an example here. You know, all guys carry their wallets, but there's no reason why you can't keep a little bit of cash stuffed down in a sock or something. That way, if you lose your wallet, something goes sideways, you're caught somewhere, you still have a little bit of cash with you in kind of an unconventional place. You don't have to have anything special. You can just shove that cash down in your sock. You know, girls, they can stick it in their bra and stuff like that. I've seen that happen lots of different times too. But for guys, you know, just sticking it down in your socks, down in your work boot, got an extra couple $20 bills in there, that'll just give you a little bit of cash where you're it's kind of in an unconventional location should that be needed, and it's easy enough to call on. Anyway, a little later or tomorrow when we get out, I will give you a quick rundown of what I have out in the vehicle as far as kind of that extra winter gear that I was talking about.
Well, it is morning. I am going to go down and check out the breakfast, or as I like to call it, resupply. I'm not above snagging a few things off a breakfast at a hotel to either throw in a pack or take along in a vehicle. I mean, you paid good money for the room, you know, tax, hospitality fee. They're not going to miss a couple packages of oatmeal or maybe a roll of toilet paper to throw in a vehicle. So you got a little extra stuff in there while you're traveling. You can see my nice view of absolutely nothing there. But this is another thing I want to show you. I always want to check out where your emergency exits are. When you're in hotels, don't ever trust that little map that they put up in your room. Always physically go verify where those doors are and how you can get out of one of these places if you have to. That goes back to always having a light in your room too. Don't always depend on those exit signs working. Sometimes they don't. But anyway, I'm going to go down and check out what they got.
All right, we're getting ready to take off here. I thought I'd show you real quick some of our cold weather survival stuff that we decided to bring along on this trip. Of course, we got our boots. I got my boots, she's got her boots. We got heavy winter clothing. I got my military sleep system bag. with the 3 components, and then I got another 20-degree comfort bag here, so we actually have multiple sleeping systems. I also have a small short shovel here, as well as a full-size snow shovel in here. We brought our hot tent, and we brought a hot tent stove and a small sled, because kind of the worst case scenario is we'd have to spend a night or two outside for some reason. We've got a lot more resources with just this small bit of stuff right here than with just a regular pack or stay in our vehicle. I also have our vehicle survival kit here with the Mylar bags and the tape and the candles, both homemade and commercially available candles, like I did in my survival in a vehicle overnight video. And then also we grabbed some Fix-A-Flat in case this vehicle would have a flat tire. I also have a first aid kit. This first aid kit is kind of a compact version of the first aid kits that I have at home, where we got just a little bit of everything in. And then I actually brought my Headrest IFAK. That's up there as well, the one that I did a video on back like last spring, where that's basically just trauma stop bleed stuff. And that's basically it. This is going to go back up front there. Your first aid kit in a vehicle should always be accessible to the people in the vehicle where they're riding, so that's going to go back up front here. Just going to throw our regular luggage in the back here, and then we're going to head out. And here we are on the start of day 3 of our trip. Just show you guys we're not in the woods anymore. All right, guys, I thought I'd show you real quick here what I had in my pockets when I was out and about today, doing all the stuff that we had to do. And this is basically what I had on me today. And all this stuff I carried in one pocket or another. I had my my hat, my gloves. Of course, this came on and went off depending on where we were at, inside and out. Had my everyday carry Bic lighter that I normally carry with me. Had my one of my folding knives that I normally have with me, but then some extra stuff that I carried today. One, because we were going in so many large buildings, I carried one of my headlamps with me. I prefer a headlamp over a regular flashlight just because it's so utilitarian for me. I carried a staged tourniquet, of course my emergency cash, and carried one of these guys right here. This is just a real slim emergency, I guess, backpacking battery pack. It's really small and slim, and I actually charged this when I came back to the hotel room a little bit while back, so I got this charged for use again. But I carried this with me and I did use this. This was actually really nice. Took my cord, and then I took one of my plugs with me as well. Of course, I had my wallet, and I had stuff like vehicle keys and that kind of stuff with me too. But this is the basic kind of stuff I had in my pockets. Carrying around, not very heavy, but it's pretty functional gear.
Thought I'd give you guys just a real quick layout of our room and kind of some of the security aspects of it that we actually really liked in this room. You can see back there is a really robust door and locking system on this particular room. And we actually opted to not go out on this trip. Ask around, ask at the front desk, talk to some people. And they pointed us in the direction of a couple different restaurants that delivered. So we actually had all of our food basically delivered up to our room. That way it saved us going out. It was actually really good. It cost us, instead of costing maybe $30, $35 for a meal, it was more $45 to $50 for a meal. But we didn't have to wander around on the street looking for a place. And for us, it really worked out well. And if you can do that financially. It's a way to add, I guess, an extra layer of security while you're kind of out and about. Another thing I did is I requested extra coffee, so we don't have to go down to get coffee. We can just make some extra coffee here, and if we don't want to go out, we don't have to. Got a little bit of a table here. We brought in some of our snacks, energy drinks, waters, that kind of stuff that we brought with us. We brought that into the room, so again, we don't have to go out if we don't want to. We can just stay in here and kind of enjoy the security of the room that we have. Another thing, our room actually has a secondary room on it, so it's basically a room inside a room that also has a heavy locked door on it. So when we go into the bedroom and retire for the night, take a nap, whatever, we can actually go in there and we can lock that as well. So we have a room inside a room in this hotel here. So I just want to kind of share that with you guys. Also some things when you're traveling to look at, just for your own personal security. We are packed up and we're ready to head out. We're going to grab a cup of coffee and then we're going to head out on the road for day 4.
Well, guys, we are on our way back. You can see behind me here it's pretty hazy. It's a total overcast. There's a southeast wind blowing. We are actually expecting a storm back home, so we're going to start heading back. We're not going to stop much to try to make it home before the storm. It is full moon, so storms on the full moon have a tendency to always be a little bit worse than normal. Hope you guys got something out of this video here. Just kind of shared how I travel and kind of the mindset behind some of the gear that we brought along, and just kind of how we go about doing things when we're traveling. And we really covered a broad area of country that we went through. We went through farm country, we went through woods, we were in pretty good size urban areas, so we really covered the gambit with this trip, and I thought you guys would get something out of it. So anyway, this is Modern Refugee. I appreciate all my subscribers out there. Hope you guys got something out of this video here, just sharing our experiences on this trip in uncertain times. You guys take care.